Hello. Welcome back to the Kingdom Alliance podcast, formerly known as the Girl Power Alliance podcast. My name is Michelle Schaffer. I'm the founder and CEO, and I have a lot of thoughts today. This is kind of an impromptu recording. I thought maybe I'll go live on Facebook, maybe I'll go live on TikTok, and I just decided that I was going to come here and record it. And I don't know, maybe I'll scrap the whole thing because I'm going to talk about a couple of things that I don't really talk about. One of them is politics. I have stayed far away from the topic of politics because it's so polarizing. And I kind of thought to myself, it's equally as polarizing as talking about my love of Jesus and my disdain of religion. And so I thought today I would just come out and fully talk about some of the things that have been on my mind and heart in the political arena as of right now, and also in the direct selling and the network marketing profession. So you're hearing some raw and real thoughts of mine today. I think I'll start with politics because the entire world has seen that Donald Trump has successfully evaded an assassination attempt on his life, and the whole world watched. I mean, within seconds, we were already being notified via social media or friends and family who saw it, who were texting and messaging us. And I happen to have been alive when when Ronald Reagan was shot. And um, I remember as a young girl feeling really scared. It scared me to think that somebody hated the president of the United States so much that they attempted to murder him, knowing full well that they would probably be murdered themselves. So that's a next level type of evil and hate in my mind. It's akin to like a suicide bomber that you see in the Middle East. They are so committed to their mission of destruction and evil that they are willing to give their lives to it in an effort to take the lives of other people. And I remember feeling like that as a young girl, seeing, President Reagan actually got shot. It was very serious. There was other people shot as well. There was a senator shot that was paralyzed, and Ronald Reagan lived, and he was reelected. And I remember when Bobby actually called me. He called me. It was Saturday, and he called me and he said, President Trump got shot at a rally. And I said, what? And he said, he's okay. It grazed his ear. And then, of course, I took to any method of media that I could to try to find out as much information as possible. And I'm going to back up a little bit. I'm going to back up to around 2014 and was the year. And it was the time when they were, politics was beginning to ramp up, knowing that there was going to soon be some people talking about who was going to be running for president. And there was rumblings of lots of different names. And I don't even remember who the names were at this point, except for hearing kind of rumblings of Donald Trump. And of course, everybody laughed because he's a reality star. He's never been in politics before, blah, blah, blah. He's a businessman. But I do remember having heard him on different talk shows or whatever over the years, talking about the government and talking specifically about his dislike for a lot of the things that President Obama at the time had been doing. And he was very vocal about that. So fast forward to him actually telling people publicly that he was going to run. He was going to try to win the Republican nomination. I believe that was in 2015. And I remember saying to a very, very small group of people, my husband, my mother, I think maybe those were the only two people that I said this to, my immediate family. I said, I really feel like the Lord told me that Trump is going to win and he's going to do 2 terms. And he is going to go down as one of the best president, if not the best president in American history. And I remember when I told my mom, she laughed at me. She's like, are you crazy? As a matter of fact, the conversation started like this with her. She said, Donald Trump's going to run for president. Can you believe it? What a joke. And I told her what I had already felt like God laid on my spirit. She goes, really? She's like, that's crazy. Well, here we are 10 years later. It's 2024. He has officially, as of this week, become the Republican nominee for president. And he has just evaded an attempt on his life. And I've seen a lot of prophetic words about Donald Trump when he was in office before he had his first term. And I remember thinking when he didn't win the second term, I remember thinking, oh, I guess I must have missed what God said. I felt like disappointed and disillusioned because I thought it very much felt like the Lord speaking to me about that. Why would God tell me that? I wasn't involved in politics. I'm just an American, I'm just a regular person. Why would that be something that he laid on my heart? And I pray for every president that we have, whether it's somebody that I voted for or not, whether it's somebody that I agree with or not, because it would be it would be disgusting as an American citizen or even a citizen of the world to hope for the person that has been named the leader of the free world to fail. That would be a disgusting mindset and truly, in my mind, evil to hope for a sitting president or anybody in a position of leadership over to be in service to people, the people of their country, of their city, of their state, to fail. Because if they fail, we all fail. There have been a lot of prophetic words spoken recently about President Trump, and there was one in March. I don't remember the guy's name. I found him on TikTok, and he spoke a word about a rise of patriotism in the country and specifically spoke about Donald Trump, and there was going to be an attempt on his life. He literally prophesied that it was going to whiz past his head and it was going to nick his ear. It was going to blow out his eardrum. It was going to be so close that it was going to blow out his eardrum, and that he was going to go to the ground. And then when he goes to the ground, something spiritual is going to happen and he's going to arise with the Spirit of God upon him. And that is not the only person I have heard with this word. I'm going to go back to myself to 2019. In 2019, I felt the Lord told me two things. He told me, number one, we're about to have a massive shift in the church, the body. I believe we've all seen that shift in the church. I believe we've seen people stepping out of religion and stepping into more relationship. I believe that we are seeing people rise up to embody the values that Jesus Christ lived and died for, not church, relationship. I believe there is a place for the church, but I also believe that we were never supposed to be behind four walls to be the church. We're supposed to be the church in everything that we do. I believe that Christians left the room a while ago. I believe Christians left education, government, business, and they said, oh, we're not of this world. We need to all stick together and affirm each other's beliefs rather than being out in the world and mobilizing an army of believers, an army of faith-filled people to live out the characteristics and the values, the Christian ethics on the world at large. I believe that that's part of the problem. I believe that's part of the enemy's plan, right? Divide and conquer. What the enemy can separate, he can dominate. He has separated the church. He separates denominations. He separates people. He separates political parties, right? This is the enemy's plan. And I want to do everything that I can to not aid in the division or separation. So if you're listening to this and you don't believe in God, or you don't like Donald Trump, or you don't believe in the Republican Party, I want you to know that I love you and I pray for you. And that we don't have to agree on everything in order for us to be in relationship together, in order for me to pray for you, in order for me to want to see you succeed. I believe that every single human being on the planet was knit together in their mother's womb. This is what the Bible says. And that God created you on purpose for a purpose. That was the first thing that the Lord told me, that there was about to be a massive shift in the church. And in the second thing that he told me, and both of these were just they were complete ideas that dropped into my spirit at the same time. The second thing he told me was we were about to enter into the largest revival that the world had ever seen. And he told me specifically women were going to be the catalyst for that revival, and it was going to be women in the marketplace, which was the catalyst for me starting this company. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. But I believe that there have been revival fires starting all over the world with passion, burning passion. And the enemy is mad about it. I live in California. There's been revival all over the place in California. There's been revival all over the world, little pockets of it. Remember a couple of years ago at that college, they had revival going on for weeks. People were coming from near and far just to come to the Christian college. It's a tiny Christian college so that they could feel the spirit of the living God. You're seeing more and more people with influence and celebrity and um, out in the public eye coming forward and saying, like, I love Jesus and I can no longer be quiet about my faith, that the things that we're seeing in this world are not just left versus right. It's not conservative versus liberal. It's good versus evil. There is an evil agenda at play in the world that is trying to remove God from everything. I think it's easy to see. My grandbaby, she was listening to she had an iPad, and I was in the same room, but a little bit away from her. And I heard in the background her listening to something. Her iPad was set to YouTube Kids. So you feel like she's going to be safe, right? And as I listened, the music was to the tune of Old MacDonald Had a Farm. And as something caught the verses, and it didn't sound like Old MacDonald. And it was a chant about CRT and justice that my 3.5-year-old grandbaby was listening to. The indoctrination of our children is real. For those of you that don't believe that and you think that that's just propaganda, all you have to do is investigate. Every channel, every media source, their toys, the movies that they watch. There is an indoctrination at play, not just of our children, but of the world, to remove Christ, to remove justice, to remove love. And it doesn't scare me and it doesn't upset me because I serve the living God, sovereign God, the creator of everything. And if you are a reader of the Bible, you know that the battle has actually already been won. And I don't believe in activism. I don't believe in standing on the corner with a sign or marching in the streets. I don't believe that that's effective. While it may help somebody in an obscure place somewhere feel like, wow, I'm not the only one that thinks this way, I think it does more harm than good. I believe in actionism. I believe in living out the characteristics and the values that you want to see in the world. Be the change that you want to see in the world. I believe the way that we interact individually with people speaks much more profoundly and has a bigger impact than the things that you say out of your mouth with no action. You know, even the Bible says faith without works is dead. So it's one thing to go to church every Sunday and to say these things, but to do nothing in the world to actually walk out what it looks like to be a person of grace, of mercy, of love. I believe in loud love, forgiving someone when they didn't deserve it, right? Doing good for those that have done wrong for you. Now, I'm not talking about being a doormat. There's boundaries are loving and important, but I'm talking about being a person of a different character. We should look different. We should look different in business, in politics. We should look different in the school system. We should look different in our community. We should look different in traffic, right? We should be something that looks different than the rest of the world as believers. I believe that profoundly. In relationship with people, in response to people. I believe that we are living in a time, a miraculous time. I do believe that Trump was saved by God. And I do believe that something happened, something significant happened in the spirit, in the kingdom, in that moment for all of the world. And I believe that people have been answering the call that God has placed on their lives for the last couple of years in a new way, becoming more bold about who they are really and what they believe, and getting less and less afraid to share those beliefs with the world for fear of retaliation. There's always going to be retaliation, lots of it. I have been very judged for the things that I have done in my life and for the things that I believe in my life. I have had many, many attacks waged against me, my family, and I have dealt with, as all of you have, heavy, heavy spiritual warfare. But it won't stop me because I serve a big God. And I know that the things that I am doing, He has called me to do. And I feel humble and honored to do those things, even in the face of adversity. And adversity has been a tremendous teacher for me. Adversity has strengthened me and strengthened my faith in incredible ways, in ways that success never, ever, ever could. When I look at the things that Trump has endured, the bad mouthing, the gossip, the lies, the lawsuits, the non-stop for a decade of media hammering of him, of his character, creating things, um, twisting things. What I have endured is nothing even close to that, but I can relate. People have twisted my words. They've taken to social media. They've lied. They've badmouthed me. They've backstabbed me. They've betrayed me. I get it. But it doesn't deter the thing that God called me to do because I answer to Him. And when there's a calling on your life, you can try to ignore it, but it never really goes away. So I want to talk now about, I'm going to shift gears slightly. I want to talk about the business. Because in 2019, after the Lord told me those two things, it was really the catalyst for me moving forward on what at the time was just puzzle pieces. It was just an idea of something that I knew that God was calling me to, but I didn't exactly know what it was. And this was before COVID. So my idea was something that would kind of look like maybe a networking group that met once a month. And maybe that would grow into something that was chapters and franchise it. And it would be all over the place. And women would meet all over the country, all over the world once a month and grow together and share their love of Christ and how growing with Christ at the center is different. And as a woman called to the marketplace, as a woman called to business, being a Christian in business is different. We uphold, or we are supposed to uphold, the ethics and the values of our faith in business, which looks different. It behaves different than the traditional people. I'm not saying there aren't good people out there in the world that have morals and ethics, but it is different to be a Christian in business. To literally listen to the voice of the Holy Spirit in your decision making, that is different. And listening to the call of God on your life in business is different. And so in 2020, I started this company. It was an online membership. It had to move to online because of COVID and the whole world getting shut down. And so we started this online membership. And I had at that point walked away from a 16-year career in the network marketing profession that I loved. I loved network marketing. And I felt kind of disillusioned and upset that God pulled me out of that because I had just written a book and we had made millions of dollars. I had this, I loved building teams. I loved watching people grow and start off here and get to a different place in their personal life and their professional life. I loved it. But I felt God called me out of it. So I wanted to be obedient, even though I didn't understand. And I felt like, God, why did you have me waste so many years of my life in that profession only to call me out? Just a quick tip. I've learned a long time ago to stop asking why and start asking what. Why doesn't get you anywhere. Why, God, why? Instead say, okay, God, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to learn? Where do you want me to go? Those are the questions that help keep me moving forward. And at the end of 2021, the company had been around for about a year and a half, and people were loving the membership. Women were growing, but it just felt like something was missing, even though I didn't know what it was. And without making a whole long story, I began in an instant to feel like maybe God was saying, like, you can get back involved in network marketing. You can take all of your knowledge, all of the knowledge that you and Bobby have and have had and experiences, and take them and bring them into this company. And I was taken aback by that because I thought, first of all, this is just because you want it. This is just because this is your comfort zone and you like network marketing. So this is you. So I prayed about it and did due diligence, made phone calls, and used as much wise counsel as I could. And ultimately, Bobby and I felt like this is what God is calling us to do, to take what what this foundation of what has been built, all of the things that I had learned in that period of time outside of the network marketing space, and then bring in this thing that I had known for, almost 2 decades. And so we restructured the company. And there were some conversations that I had with the Lord in secret. I said, Lord, if this is what you're calling me to do again, to own a company again, a network marketing company, it has to look different and be different than anything out there. Number one. And number two, there is a shift in the profession of network marketing. When I got started in network marketing, there wasn't as many ways to make money as there is now. There was no like gig economy. There was no Etsy. There was no making money online. There wasn't Uber, and there wasn't all of that. You basically had a job or a traditional business, or you could do direct selling. Literally, there was very few options. And even direct selling back then, you treated kind of more like a traditional business because we didn't have technology. So you had to meet people face to face, and you didn't have the reach that you had now. And it was a lot more. There was a lot more. There was just a lot more that you had to do in order to build a business like that. So, with the advent of social media and technology and the ability to literally build a business with a device, things have changed. Social media created this whole influencer marketing world. And I saw that the millennials and even the young at the time, the older Gen Zers, they didn't like all the restrictions that most network marketing companies had. Lots of rules and regulations. Like if you're building here, you can't build anywhere else. But influencer marketing wasn't that. Influencer marketing was just somebody built this influence online. And all they had to do was say, hey, I love this product. And thousands of people would buy that product. So you saw influencers trying to align themselves with network marketing companies because it was a smart thing to do. But then network marketing companies grasping onto those influencers and saying, if you're here, you can't move people to any other product but this. And they didn't like it. They said, forget it then. I won't be involved in network marketing. I'll be an affiliate for another company. So I began to see all of this and see that the profession was in a shift. It was shifting from this kind of more restrictive model that really tried to control its people into one that had to adjust to influencer marketing. It had to adjust to people that wanted to align themselves with a company, wanted to align their personal brand with a company so that they could take advantage of making money by being a consumer of something that they liked and telling other people about it, but they didn't want to be restricted to just one company or one product. So in the building of this compensation plan, I added something specifically into it. In our company, we call it the member bonus pool. And so it's an affiliate program within the compensation plan of the network marketing company. I built in policies and procedures that would allow people like influencers to be able to benefit just like somebody that was building a team, being able to earn the bonuses, move up the ranks, earn the trips, earn all of those things, and do that just by being an influencer and enrolling people personally and never building a team. It's different. Nobody's done it before. But if you were like me and you weren't an influencer with millions of followers, you couldn't just go online and talk about a product and have millions of customers. You could leverage the power of building a team, right? It's a lot of people doing a little. This is why network marketing is so profound because you don't have to be an influencer. You can be a regular person and go find a handful of people who find a handful of people, and you can make the same money as an influencer. So I created a compensation plan that actually allows for both to exist. And we're living in a time where you're seeing, just in the last couple of weeks, a couple of companies take their network marketing structure, that multi-level tiered compensation structure, and they're removing it. And they're only going to be an affiliate model. And I'm so sad about that for the people that spent years loyally building the brand, loyally posting, helping to develop leaders, working with people, knowing that the bulk of their income comes from way down into the depths of the levels of the compensation plan. That's where most money is made. And so they are given a deadline and tell them this certain date, we're still a company, the products are the same, and you're still going to be able to earn, but you're only going to be able to earn literally on level one or whatever it is. I don't know the details. And it makes me sad. I think it makes the network marketing profession look bad. I think that it sways people from an opportunity that I still think is viable and real. But I will tell you, I believe that everything about what we're doing here is ordained by God. I believe that God allows people to walk through things and experience things on purpose so that you will, when the time comes for you to have the ability to be a change maker, that you will be able to hear the voice of God and make a change. Network marketing isn't new, direct selling isn't new, but what we are doing here is taking an old thing and doing it in a new way. I also saw, because Bobby and I owned a company that had health and nutrition, we had supplements and we had skincare, and we knew we knew the heavy overhead costs of manufacturing a product and having a physical building and all of the things. We lived it for 2.5 years, and we worked corporately for a company, so we know. And we never wanted to do that again. So our company has a remote first model. That means all of our employees work from home. And we have created such a phenomenal system of communication, and our our team is so incredibly productive. It's beautiful. And our products are digital and virtual. So as a company, we are set up and built for longevity. We are built to withstand. We are built light. We are built to uh, allow you, if you're an influencer, if you want to be a network marketer and build a team, if you just want to be an affiliate, we are built to allow you to fit yourself into this model. Yeah. We are faith forward. We are boldly all about Jesus. And we are inclusive. You can come here even if you don't believe in Jesus. We're not going to try and convert you. We're not going to condemn you or judge you. We're going to love on you, because personal and professional development changes you. Leadership development changes you. And when you begin to change, the world begins to change. Our motto here is change yourself and change the world. And we're watching it happen. It's pretty amazing, actually. God's hand has been on every life that has come into this incredible company. We were just women up until this year, and we have opened our doors to men too. Men and women around the world are seeing the call on their lives. They know that they want to grow in their relationship with the Lord. They know they want to be a better husband, a better wife, a better leader, a better parent, a better daughter, a better son. They know they want to have more impact. So they come here and they begin to grow. They begin to plug into some of the amazing resources we have. They get on the calls, they go through the academies, they step into some of the certifications. We are raising up an army of speakers, podcast hosts, leaders. It's pretty amazing. We believe in the commission, the Great Commission, Matthew 28, where Jesus told the disciples to go and make disciples of the world. Well, discipleship in and of itself doesn't just happen. There is an entire process to get yourself, the sanctification process, the growth process, where you have to become that so that you can help others become it too. And that's what we're doing. And we're unapologetic. I'm proud of the model that we have created. And I believe that God knew before the company even started what was going to be happening in the world. He knew what people were going to need. And he equipped us to be able to put this together to build the foundation of this company so that in the time when people needed it the most, that they would find us. So if you have found us, it's not by accident. This is your official invitation to come and join us. Join us and just partake in the resources if that's what you need. Be part of our amazing community of people that are going to love on you. They're going to accept you. They're going to pray with and for you. They're not going to judge you. They're not going to try and convert you or change you. They're going to accept you as you are, knowing that we're all on a journey, that there is a process in this life as we are continuing to become. And guess what? You're going to begin to transform, and people are going to notice. And when they do, you can say with joy in your heart, well, I'm a part of this amazing company, and I can introduce you actually if you're interested. And just by accident, actually begin to grow an income. Maybe as an affiliate, we still call you ambassadors, but just treat it like an affiliate program and use that one incredible part of our compensation plan and know that you will not be penalized. Isn't that cool? That a company that is going to allow you to build the way that you want to build and you will not be penalized. Or you can be like me and work to build a team because you love to build up other people. This leadership development piece is something that you love. I love that piece. You can build a team and teach people how to teach people how to teach people. We're building an army of coaches to go out there and share our programs and teach our programs. You don't have to create them. We have them for you. All you have to do is plug into them. It's a great way to build a business, to be teaching classes on leadership, identity, branding. We're so proud of what we're doing. And I believe that the timing is exactly right. If you're watching this, it's not an accident. Join us. Say yes. Say yes to the call in your life. Say yes to the Great Commission. Say yes to aligning yourself with a company that literally keeps God right at the center of it. Say yes to what I believe is a new day in the network marketing profession. We're ahead of the curve, where companies are going to have to come behind and make changes and adjustments to adapt to the world that we're living in today. We are set up like that because I believe God gave me the ability to see what was needed in the profession. I have no intention, Bobby and I have no intention of taking this company and removing the ability for you to build a team away. We don't need to, because we already have the ability for you to build um, like an affiliate. We don't need to change anything. I just want to invite you to come and be a part of what we're doing in this time, in the great revival. Man or woman, no matter what your age is, no matter what your background is, there is a seat at the table waiting for you. I look forward to meeting you personally, seeing you on the calls, seeing you inside the Radiant Leadership Academy, or stepping up to become a certified Kim 10 speaker, starting your own podcast, building your own brand, and impacting the world. Because when you change yourself, you change the world.